I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts and crafts and jewelry. This the guardians of the geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Guardians of the Geekery, celebrating the Geekery market on November 15th, Saturday, 10 to 4. How much is it? You're really going to have to save up for this one. It's absolutely free. Yep, absolutely free. So we do ask you to bring in canned goods, if you will, or a small donation to Second Harvest food bank, so we can help feed the folks in the Charlotte Metro and also across North Carolina, especially up in the mountains where they're still recovering. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Helene, so still a lot of folks and friends and family digging out from that. So, but hey, want to welcome back. Probably it was my favorite. You're not supposed to have favorites in podcasting. It's really like kids, yes. But my favorite one from favorite podcast from last year was Sean here with Functional Mud. And welcome back. Really excited to have you back. And
happy to be here.
Yeah, love the shirt as well. It's a good day to do some pottery.
That's right. My everyday work shirt. Yes.
Promote so is that much like a day ending in Y?
Any day ending in Y is a good day to do pottery. That's absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is your fourth show because you did 1 or 2 before we moved to Cabarrus, right?
This will be my third. I did one when we were in Charlotte at the small venue. I think I missed the first one at Cabarrus, unfortunately, but got the one in 24. And and what a great space. This is really something great y'all provided. I love the fact that it's $0 to get in. Let everybody spend their money on the vendors and the food and everything else. So it's a great space. Really, I think promotes that camaraderie of merchants coming together and the diversity of people. When I saw last year's, this amazing, wonderful crowd that came through there.
Yeah, we are almost sold out. We have like maybe 6 spaces left. Okay. We did some reconfiguring. Okay. Wouldn't be a Joey market without me making changes year over year. Just because we noticed the side aisles were a little bit tighter. I like to have a nice wide aisle. I'm in a wheelchair, so I've upgraded from a scooter to a wheelchair. But I like to make sure that people can pass each other by. We are geeks. Sometimes we get overstimulated with large crowds. Right. And so we just are widening that up a little bit. And then we made some different sizes of spaces just to accommodate different types of sellers. Okay. But we are super excited for this year. We felt like last year was really a great show. I mean, both of them at Cabarrus have been a great show. And I just love the fact that we're not making major changes. We're fine tuning each time, which is key. But we're always so excited when we see your application because we're like, okay, we know that one. That one we know. So some of the other ones were like, you make what? And you do it how? It's like you're an easy check mark for us. So we always appreciate that.
And I will say we always make sure to get you the best space possible. Behind the scenes, Carol and Joey and Wanda do a lot of different ideas, like Joey was talking about, coming up with different ideas, spitballing things. And I really think it speaks to the wisdom of the committee that we decided not to sell the stalls in the bathrooms as spaces this year. I think it was worth talking about, but I'm glad
we were like, hey, we could have mini stalls.
Yes, you have to vacate occasionally as people come in and need to use your stall for certain things.
Well, $5 was a good price point. I still think we did came up with the right decision.
We can't offer you electricity, but we can offer you running water at your stall.
All the comforts at home. That's great.
That's right.
Next year we'll be selling standing spaces for those guys with watches in their coats. It's like, would you like to buy? No.
Hey, what kind of pottery can I get for you here?
Yeah. Now listen, if you've ever been to like the Southern Christmas Home Show or some of those bigger conventions,
Oh, yeah.
I can
yeah.
promise you we have no people trying to sell you cell phones
Yeah.
or perfumes by
They've
spraying
tried.
you or trying
They've
to sell
tried.
you the as seen on TV. They apply, but we do not accept them.
Okay, so there's no one
So
selling us gutters or new vinyl windows.
Correct.
now
Okay.
listen, we have 4 sponsor booths. 4. If they want to apply and pay that money, we will put them on the back wall, but at
Okay,
least
good.
you'll know it's just the back wall. So just
For all your home
cruise on
needs,
by that
go to the
space.
back wall.
Exactly.
Speaking of home needs, let's talk about functional mud.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
geez,
That's what
Carol,
we're
way to get us on topic.
Bringing us back. Thanks, Carol.
She's like, enough of the shenanigans with these guys. Let's talk about the cool stuff that Sean has for us today. So yeah, go ahead, Carol. Ask away.
Yeah, well, I was just getting the ball rolling. I mean,
Okay.
I
Well,
was going to caffeinate while you did that.
everybody,
So-
quick, get a drink while and then we'll go back.
I know, like I need one of your mugs to like cover it. So
Plenty of mugs here to do this. Well, tell you what,
Speaking of, yes, can we see some of the mugs? Did you
Yes.
come up with any new like designs this year, or are you
I am
sticking
not
with your?
promoting our other podcast while we're doing this. Not
In
doing
fact,
that
I
at
did.
all.
Carol, there was so I've got these pieces, and what I'm trying to do
Sweet.
is
I love those bowls, by the way. Sorry. Got a sneak peek at the photos you sent for
Yes.
the article.
Exactly.
So
So
yeah.
I've got a white clay body and a brown clay body and swirl it together and make cups and bowls. In I guess England they call it agate ware.
Mhm.
And they're, in different cultures call it different things. I think Italian called it millifiore. But it's the idea of taking colored clay, swirling together, and you will never get the same effect twice. Of course, it's just a random effect of what comes out. And so, I guess appealing to our geek audience, this is my mage or my wizard set. And so what I want to do also is do a handled bowl and a small cup, not unlike this one, in a solid color. And this will be my fighter or my ranger set. So it's
That is awesome.
a cup and bowl set here for the magic users, so to speak. And then I've got a handled bowl, and this will come with a cup. And you probably can't see it too well on camera. There's a little wave pattern carved around.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned earlier about going to the beach, and I make the wave pattern with a seashell.
Oh,
nice.
And it's only, I guess, relevant to me and my wife. I picked this shell up off the beach with my father-in-law. He was a big seashell collector. Just a few months before he passed away, we went out and did seashell collecting. And so that was one I picked up with him. So I used that to carve a wave pattern on the side. So that stays next to my wheel all the time to carve in there. And I can think of my father-in-law and put this as kind of a memory of him.
That's
on
wonderful.
the pots that I work.
Yeah.
And for people who listened to the podcast last year, they'll remember that he was a great influence and supporter
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
your work. So that's a wonderful way to include that, which,
It is.
spoiler alert, go back and listen to his other podcast with us as
Yes.
well.
And there's
When he
there's
was
demo
able to
on it.
be in the Pottery Barn, little Wi-Fi connection this time. So, but now we get to see another part of your house and go, ooh, that's cool.
And try to figure out what all the pictures and doodads around here are.
Yeah.
Something else I'm trying to do is cauldrons. And what's different about this cauldron here, I'm trying to promote work. So this is called micaceous clay. So it's clay with a lot of mica in it. And the thing about cauldrons or any kind of ware you do with mica clay is that it's really good to cook on. You can actually put this in a flame on the stove, good heat retention, very durable. And so I was putting together like little cauldrons to see how that would sell. I just thought it was
Those are amazing, actually.
Yeah,
I
thank
know.
I know some witchy friends who would be very
There
interested
we
in
go.
having a little
There's a
cauldron.
target audience out there.
And now the colors, the fact that they're not all just black cauldrons too, I think
Yeah.
appeals, because depending on the type of witchery that you may be more drawn to, that more woodsy, earthy feel definitely has a thing. And even like your mage set, I know people in the SCA as well as people who are LARPers, there's kind of a pride of ownership to be able to bring more realistic tableware with you on your events and be able to do that. I personally just like to be able to take the mugs and drink my coffee out of it in the morning. I am not a matchy person. And the fact that I could buy a bowl and a cup and have it be matchy, but be different from what I might drink the next day, that's just so cool. So
good. I'm glad you, and y'all remember, again, we'll promote last year's video that I did a demo and threw a mug for you. And of course,
yeah.
you can't put it here, but I will show you that.
Well, because you sold it, of course.
This is a mug that I threw yesterday, and so it's still very wet, very clay. I could actually crumple it up and rethrow it into something else. And just to show the process for people who don't know how this works, so that is probably fresh off the wheel just probably 24 hours ago. Once that dries up or actually gets to what's called a leather hard stage, I will apply a handle and put a medallion on it. So most of my stuff has some sort of geek related medallion, whether it's Green Dragon, Prince Roy. This is actually a golden perch from Lord of the Rings Online.
Yes.
And so I put medallion and handle on it. And this is called bone dry. So this I could put into water and it'll turn back into clay. Still very fragile. I could crush that in my hand. Once that's dry, I put it into the kiln for what's called a bisque firing. And that will take it from clay and will actually turn it into stone. So that will never go back to clay. And that is bisque fired. Once that is out of the kiln, I'll glaze it either by dunking it into a bucket of glaze or hand glazing it and fire it one more time. And it comes out pretty and shiny and useful.
Hey.
Dishwasher, microwave, safe, and if you want to put pencils in it, you put pencils in it. If you want to drink your favorite beverage. So that's kind of the process. I guess back this up again with see the demo from last year. And then here's the process of going from, a lump of clay to a finished product.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great insight. I did not know all those steps for sure. So yeah.
It can be a lengthy process. The actual throwing of a mug, that takes me 5 minutes, 25 years in 5 minutes to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take long at all to make. And then you've got the process of wait for it to dry, put the handle and medallion on it, biscuit, glaze it, glaze fire it. So it's a lengthy process. The sad part about this is that through all that work, if there's a flaw or a crack or a piece of glaze runs, the whole thing is just trashed. For me, I'm not going to put anything less than my best work out there. And
Thank you.
Through this entire process, if something messes up, you get to the very end like, oh, well, I can't sell that. That just chuck that away and try it again.
You have to go next door to Dysfunctional Mud and buy the regulars over there, right?
All the seconds are.
That's where you need to be like partners with a mosaic like friend and give them all your cast off so they can break it and like make other things out of it. So
that's a great idea. Yeah, we'd actually considered some of the pots that I have that I didn't keep. We smash them with a hammer, and yeah, like you said, a mosaic. Put them up against like on a wall or a table or something. Make sure they're smooth. But yeah, there's uses for broken pottery, or take your aggressions out on it.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the best use for certain pottery. It's just like, yeah, you know what? I just need to break something.
Just to do something else I wanted to try, and I don't know if I'll get out this year. So I've made a little sculpture here of a moon gazing hare.
Oh.
And for some reason, my spirit animal is a hare or a rabbit. And so I wanted to do a sculpture of a moon gazing hare, take that hare, put it in the bottom of a mug before I fire it. So as you put your beverage in there and you drink out of it, that little hare reveals itself. And I guess that could be, I could sculpt any kind of animal and drop it at the bottom of a mug, but it's just something that as you drink and you look at it, it's like, oh, look, there's a little creature looking at me from the bottom of my mug. So
that is awesome. Yeah.
I'm try and see if I
can.
My
grandmother had a mug like that. So, and that was always like your rite of passage as a grandchild when you got old enough that she felt like you could handle it, she'd fill a mug up with milk.
Yeah.
And as you're drinking, she had a little frog. So all of a sudden the little frog eyes would pop out of the milk as you're eating your cookies and milk at dinner time right before you go to bed at grandma's. And then you would see it appear. And when my little sister, who's passed on, but when she was adopted, we said, Grandma, you got to do the mug with her. But of course, she was like 9 or 10. So she wasn't like 5 or 6, which is kind of the age that we all got to experience it.
Right.
And, she hadn't lived with us all her life. She didn't know us at the time. And we wanted to indoctrinate her into this. And the three of us, my mom, my grandmother, and I, are sitting around the table staring at her as she's drinking out of this mug with these big smiles on our faces. And she was just convinced we had put poison or something in there. But we didn't want to tell her because we wanted her to have that experience. And instead, we marred her for life. But I think it's a great idea.
I think it's something fun to do, something fun. Not, I guess, not necessarily original since your grandmother had one, but just something fun that bring a smile to your face in the morning after you drink your.
That's it. That's it. It's just that little something extra. And I don't think a lot of people do that. And certainly I've not seen a rabbit. So that's definitely unique. But I think stuff like that is fun. And I think that's part of why something that's handmade just has that little more originality. We had Dan Wilner from Spandex Splinters. He does the carving out of wood and makes.
I watched his video.
Yeah. And if you go back and look at his work side by side, like if the mouth is down, it's one expression. If the mouth is kind of sideways and halfway through the wood, it's a different expression, etc. And I think that's the fun part of getting something that is a one-off. Like you're not sitting there mass producing these mugs, even though you have 25 years of skill. Each one is just going to be a little bit different.
Slightly different. Yep.
And that's what makes it so much fun to sit there and you're drinking and you get to look at the mug and see the pretty colors and look at the pattern and know that it was made from a seashell and all that kind of stuff, which if you go into the big box store, you're like, oh yeah, it's one of 27 on the shelf, So.
It sometimes lacks some originality, but I think that's one of the fun things about going to the geek market. You've got all these vendors making their original work, whether it's drawings, paintings, sculptures, the Spandex Splinters. In fact, I was across the aisle from him last year, and I looked across, and he had a sculpture of Usagi Yojimbo, the rabbit bodyguard from the comics. And I was like, I'm going to get that. That is awesome. And I turned around, and I'm packing, I'm selling, and I'm having a chat, and I look over, and it's gone. And I was like, oh, someone bought that. That was an absolutely wonderful sculpture. I felt it was for me, but I was too slow on getting his rabbit sculpture. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that this year.
Yeah.
And again, but to see everyone else's original work and the diversity of the people you bring in, we're all related in the geekness of what we put together. But to see people's work and know that it's not mass produced, it's not, off the shelf with thousands of other pieces, I think is really wonderful. It's a testament to the creativity of people who come in, and then the people want to come and enjoy it and buy it and
yes,
bring it into their homes as well.
And I think that's one of the things too with having the juried, because you're not sitting there across from somebody else who's making mugs very similar to yours with the style of yours. You're sitting, so you get to literally be excited about everybody around you because they're all passionate about what they're doing and they're all different.
Yeah.
Even if it's two artists, the styles are totally different and everything. And like we have two potters, but we have you, the functional mud, and then we have the more quirky Tracy May. And it's very different. And you wouldn't put them side by side and say, oh, I got those from the same place. You know what I mean?
No, and it's wonderful. I saw Tracy's work last year, made an effort to go over there, say, hey, I'm Sean, I got the pottery over there, and look at her work and say, that is awesome. How did you do that? And how did you build this? And they were free with their information and excited to share that knowledge. And so it never feels like a competition. It feels like, that's awesome. How did you do that? Can I do that? Just to make my own spin on it or learn something from someone else who does a similar craft. So if it's a room full of potters, it's still wonderful. It's like, that's cool and that's cool. And I used to make something like that, and I have no idea how to do that. Always fun stuff. Always good to learn new
Yeah.
things from.
Well, and just experience all the differences,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't think about it, like Matt said, until you really kind of understand the process. And like we have two different tea vendors. One is a curator of teas, and another one handcrafts her teas. And they were, well, Carol, I was watching your video yesterday on TikTok and talking about the difference between black tea and white tea, and it's based on the way that the leaves are treated.
It's just different.
It's
the same
totally
leaf, it's just treated differently.
Wow. Okay.
So
tea is all one plant. Herbal extractions aside, tea, black tea, white tea, green tea, it's all one plant. It's all just how it's treated differently to make a green or a white or a black tea.
Things we don't know, and now we know this. And they've learned it by watching this video. And actually, I was going to talk to you and try to see how close that my functional mud mugs could get to that tea. It's like maybe they can come back, like, I bought a mug. Oh wait, there's tea there too. I'll be right back and get tea and put it in my mug.
There you go.
We will make notes about that.
We'll make note about that. Yes.
Fine. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's well,
that's
and
a good pairing.
kind of fun. Like Space Wizards, Science Fantasy, they have RPG books, so we put them next to somebody who was selling D20 dice and stuff like that last year, because it's like, you can start playing right now. We
have tables over in the concession area.
Yeah, and we do have others that partner together. I was thinking Gwyneria Blythe and Leveled Up Geek. Gwyneria Blythe does artwork and stuff, and then the jewelry that's in the artwork, Leveled Up Geek makes. Is that the way it is? It's something like that.
That's wonderful.
Where it's like they kind of combine together, and so they have to be side by side, because it's like, if you really like the jewelry that you see in the artwork, it was inspired by this artist that's sitting right next to him.
Love it. That is wonderful.
Yeah, so it's very cool. So what other stuff are you going to be bringing, and what other stuff are you working on? And just tell us all the adventures, Sean.
Okay, so as you know, the functional mud, I make mostly mugs. I think that's a very functional piece of work. I've actually started this year to work on plates. So I'm going to do plates, bowls, salad plates, dinner plates, and bowls as a set. Now, of course, being in North Carolina, I'm not far from Seagrove, and there's a lot of potters there, as we know. And so I don't feel like the stuff that I make can compete with people who focus on dinnerware. It's very they're good at it. They're really good. And making a plate is not always as easy as it. Oh, look, a plate, that must be easy. Nah, it's not terrible. But I'm giving my hand this year to really make an effort to make plate sets. So I have a return customer who now lives in Ireland. He writes to me through Etsy, and he wants a Hobbit inspired plate set. And so I did the research, looked at all the stuff that was in the Lord of the Rings movies, the Hobbit films, and what kind of plate set. This is such nerdy talk, isn't it? What kind of plate set did Bilbo have? So I found the research, found some pictures of what plate set that, it's just need to say it, what plate set that Bilbo Baggins has. So I'm making him cups, bowls, plates based on.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's not a replica from the movie.
You're talking to your people. We love every bit of this. Like, literally, Carol has how many copies of Lord of the Rings now?
Well, I mean, the book itself? If you're talking The Hobbit, I have to think about 9 or 10 different variations of The Hobbit,
fonts, everything,
languages that I don't speak.
Yeah.
So I did a little TikTok on it.
And what you cannot see on the other side of this.
The other side of the room is all Tolkien, shelves, artwork. Yeah. So,
same here.
Yeah.
I have wonderful woodcutter. He's not at the Geekery market this year, but he handcrafted milk crate style wooden boxes for my fireplace, and
Yeah.
he carved the tree of Aragorn into them.
Tree of
Right?
Gondor.
Tree
Tree
of
of Gondor.
Condor into
Gondor,
them.
yes.
And then the bookshelves that he made me raw edge bookshelves that have the leaves of Aragon, right? On the side.
Aragorn.
The Malorn leaves.
The Malorn. Yeah, the
Yes.
Elvish leaves. Yes.
Yes.
That
That's-
the
And then-
brooches were made out of.
Yeah, and so this whole floor is Lord of the Rings Middle Earth inspired. You just can't see that because you're on this corner. So
That's okay. At some point we should probably all get together on camera. Like, here's my collection of stuff. What do you have? Yeah.
Look at
There's,
it
my
would be my
fins.
entire house.
last
We've-
year, my father, I'm not sure if I told you all this, he made the Samwise Gamgee salt box.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And he sends me probably a dozen boxes once every 1 or 2 years. And those things sell out. People absolutely love those little salt boxes. And he's leisure in his retirement years. Like, yeah, I'll make a few or not. But just, I think, little handcrafted bits and bobs like that. Maybe you walk into someone else's house and you look around, I was like, oh, there's a poster and I've got that book, but holy goodness, look at that little thing. That's unique and that's one of a kind. And that's really, really impressive to see makers and crafters that build things. Because I think if the companies don't do it, if Marvel or Star Wars or Lord of the Rings doesn't make something, the fans, the crafters, the enthusiasts want to make something that comes from the film that inspires them, that makes them happy. And I think that's what we all do. That's why
Absolutely.
I started making prancing pony mugs, because I could not find one. And I thought, I think I might like to have that. I'll figure out how to make that.
And we're glad you did.
Yes, we
Yes.
did. Now, speaking of which, are you taking pre-orders this year, or is it just come to the market and see what we got?
Absolutely take pre-orders through the Etsy site. People can convo me, tell me what they might like. If they see something on site, but they wanted a different color, give me about a month's heads up. I can make them a mug in the shape, in the color, with whatever medallion that they want on it, or not. I'm going to bring a handful of mugs that have nothing on it, just plain mugs, so people who maybe like the pottery but don't have a specific IP that they're into, they can just get plain mugs.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
works too.
Yeah. So
Nice.
Maybe they're
pre-orders-
just a fan of functional mud. You should just have them, some that are FM, but then you'd have to put little radio knobs on there.
Oh, that's clever. I like that. That's
Next year.
something
This
to
is
work
how I
on.
keep getting you guys to come back. I'll give you more
I'm
ideas.
taking notes over here.
No. Yeah. Well, thank you as always, Sean. I can't believe how quickly the time goes by whenever we're talking to you. But make sure to check them out. Tell us where we can find you online, the best website address for you. Of course, we'll put it in the show notes too. So
That's the Etsy site. It's etsy.com/functional mud, I believe is it.
Oh.
I keep a pretty low profile online. So unless somebody posts on Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook, I think I've got too much gray hair to be that that social media type stuff. So on Etsy, find me under Functional Mud, and love to have a conversation with anybody who wants to pre-order or just talk shop.
And in keeping with the functionalness of functional mud, there is no fancy quirky spelling. It's just functional mud, folks. There's no extra I's, Y's, E's, umlauts, anything like that. So
Although now that you mentioned umlaut, couple of umlauts.
now listen, but then you make it harder for us
Functional mood.
Americans to find you. But check him out online. We will link his stuff in the show notes. Make sure you go back to season 24 and find his episode on our YouTube channel or on our website, geekerymarket.com, and you'll be able to see him actually craft a mug right on air for us. And it literally was that fast. And make sure to stop by and see him. Now listen, market math. Buy from him and pay him ahead of time. Then when you get to the market, it's like it's free. And then you can spend more money on other things he's made.
Love it.
It
Well,
just makes sense. So Right? Right.
Absolutely.
We're all gonna
Right.
agree with that.
No
All
argument.
right. Yeah, no argument just because I'm the one in charge and I know where all y'all live. Not you, Sean, but I know where you move. Well, listen, thank you all. Make sure to tune in to the next episode. And Sean, thank you so much for being here today.
I thank y'all too. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.
Bye.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.